An August 2024 report from the Observatory for Religious Freedom in Africa found that 55,910 people were killed and 21,000 people were abducted in the context of terror groups in Nigeria within just 4 years, from October 2019 to September 2023. I would point out that approximately 34,000 are moderate Muslims that have been murdered in Islamic attacks, and we speak out for them as well. I have met with imams in Nigeria, and if they speak, they're visited that following week by one of these radical Islamist groups, and it's not pretty. They'll kill them or do other kinds of mischief. About 5 million Christians have been displaced and forced into internally displaced person camps, IDP camps, within Nigeria. The 2023 watch list released in January by Open Doors this past January found that 89% of Christians, 89% of the Christians who were martyred in the world are in one country, Nigeria. The targeted violence starkly highlights the precarious state of religious freedom in Nigeria. Again, we're asking the president, Tinubu, he's got to take action. And we're going to, I'm hoping to lead a delegation to Nigeria. We've got to raise these issues, but it starts at the top. I've been to Abuja many times. The president has real power. He can do it. And we're calling on him to do that. Let me also say that and I will put the rest of my statement into the record, but this hearing, we're hoping will be a catalyst for action by our own government and also by Congress, and of course, above all, the executive branch. The new president has a lot to do, and I think he'll do this, and then, if necessary, impose sanctions. Where that has happened, there is change. Where it doesn't happen, the status quo, the killing fields continue. I'd like to yield to Ms. Jacobs for any opening comments she might have.
Nigeria now ranks 6 out of 66 on the just released 2025 Global Terrorism Index. Nigeria is the world's deadliest country for Christians, according to the respected group Open Doors. Currently, militant groups of nomadic Fulani Muslim herders are reported by the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, among others, to be the greatest threat to Nigerian Christians, particularly those that we're now seeing in the Middle Belt farming communities. In Benue, Plateau, Kaduna, and other Middle Belt states, thousands of Christians have been killed, maimed, and raped, and millions of them have been driven from their lands and are now homeless due to Fulani attacks. This is the heart of Nigeria's breadbasket, and as their farming families are slaughtered or forced to flee, the region's suffering is compounded by growing mass hunger. Moreover, the targeted indigenous people of the Middle Belt Christian communities face the Nigerian government's decision to tolerate this persecution. The federal government in Abuja remains passive in the face of desperate cries for help. The UN High Commissioner for Refugees reports of Mimi, one of 2 million IDPs, internally displaced persons, in Benue State. She survived a Fulani attack 3 years ago while her family was tending the yam fields on her farm. It reports, when they looked up, they saw armed men. There was no time to run. The men raped and killed Mimi's 11-year-old daughter. Mimi herself was raped and her husband was killed. A hunter later found her injured and unconscious and helped her into the bush. They hid her there for 2 days before it was safe enough for him to bring her to the camp. There she received medical treatment and reunited with her 2 sons, now aged 12 and 15. I lost everything, says Mimi. If you go to my village, everything has been burned down. I cannot farm any longer. And it's not only me, we all went through these things. The government allows Fulani violence to continue with impunity. There is broad concern that this reflects a plan to forcibly Islamize Nigeria in violation of its secular constitution. Last week, the Nigerian Catholic Bishops' Conference released a letter expressing deep concern that some of the 12 northern states that impose Sharia law ordered Catholic and other Christian schools closed for 5 weeks in forced observance of Ramadan. And they cited the Constitution's guarantee of a secular state.